Welcome to the Retro Blood.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Retro Blood. As we start off a brand new month here in the month of December 2025, starting off the Retro Blood's holiday season. All right.
Oh, yeah.
The good old holiday, snowy Christmas, bright lights season. And the Retro Blood, for the first time ever, we are going to be talking all about big 1980s blockbuster movies. All right.
Yes.
So instead of us talking about some of the lower B movies that we're known to talk about here on this podcast, maybe some mid-level movies, we're talking about some of the biggest blockbusters that happened in the 80s on this month. And they're all kind of surrounding a little bit of a Christmas theme on some of them.
Some of them.
Yes, that we're doing. Now, we've already talked about pretty much all the 80s horror Christmas movies already. You can find that out in our catalog here on the Retro Blood. So that's why for the foreseeable future, when it comes to these December months, we might just do some big blockbuster or some more movies surrounding like snow and ice and stuff. But for our first one, we are traveling all the way to Gotham City.
Yeah.
Because if you all like Michael Keaton being the Batman and having fans hating on him for being the Batman until they saw him at theaters. If y'all like the crazy man himself, Jack Nicholson, who is a big icon in the 80s already, coming out and playing the Madman Joker. If y'all like the movie that inspired the Batman, the animated TV series, it inspired The Dark Knight, it inspired pretty much every Batman movie that came after it, then you all love this review because we are talking about the Warner Brothers, Tim Burton, 1989 Batman movie. JH Alison, James Kline, what's happening? How was your trip to the Gotham?
Man, this is really cool because it gives us it's different for us. It's almost like a little Christmas present or something where we get something that's not horror movies for once in 4 years. Yeah. So it's kind of cool that we're doing this, and I think we should branch out more and do other kinds of things every once in a while. Not quit the horror, but every once in a while do something a little bit different. But this is cool. I love this movie, and I've always liked it. I probably do have some controversial opinions about it that we'll see how that goes and how it goes over with people. But I'm excited. This has been great so far.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty interesting one. Like I said, mostly we do like the horror films, even though like there's some horror elements in this Batman movie.
I mean, it was a Tim Burton movie, so it's gonna have some kind of some horror elements.
Exactly. Tim Burton coming off Nightmare Before Christmas, all the Edward Scissorhand he was doing around this time, I believe, as well. Beetlejuice. All right. So
Beetlejuice is basically what got this movie made.
Yeah. Which we talked about. We have it in our archives where we did a whole episode about Beetlejuice, and that kind of led into making this Batman movie as well. But come on, this Batman over here, he did not give a fuck. He was killing these Joker villains left and right. All right.
This was not the 1960s Batman anymore. This was pretty hardcore.
Yeah, this guy throwing people off buildings and blowing up. Fuck caring about people's life. This Batman, he's like, fuck these guys. All right, I'm gonna take them down. So, but this one right here is a very, very interesting tale. Like, there's a lot about this Batman movie that's very interesting, and it's also, crazy to think about. Like, this movie actually kind of kickstarted the boom of Marvel. Like big like comic book movies. In a way.
Well, this kind of kickstarted. This was the comic book movie, right? Yeah. Other than this, the only comic book movie that did well was Superman, and that was 10 years before this. Yeah. So that was 78, and then we got to 89. So 12 years later, we make another one. But I mean, this started the comic book movie for sure. I mean, it did. I don't know how anybody could dispute that.
No, and like, there's so much like interesting like tie-ins for this movie. Like, one of the big things we're going to talk about is this is like a huge like Warner Brothers like marketing campaign. All
Yes.
right, that had massive amount of toys that linked up to the movie, that had big commercial spots. We're getting high roller actors and actresses in this movie. I mean, and just the marketing, like they were just doing merchandise like out the ass for this fucking film.
Oh yeah.
And it was so much that the guy who even did the toy line went on to buy Marvel because he made so much money doing this toy line.
Yeah, was that Bill Jemas? Bill Jemas, I think
Bill
it was.
Jemas.
Yeah.
And it was so big that he bought the Marvel rights and he started making those Marvel toys, and that kind of kickstart Marvel to be the powerhouse that it is today too, from those toy sales. And that was all because of the massive marketing. And the reason they did this marketing was pretty interesting because they saw the success of Star Wars. Because so basically, what it was told was Star Wars, when it came out and stuff, they didn't do big marketing for it because they didn't know if it was going to work or not. They did the big marketing after it was really, like, after people were liking it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because they didn't even have excuse me, they didn't even have toys when Star Wars came out. That was the big story about Star Wars, was that also, this is going to get off the subject a little bit, but also Star Wars invented the small action figure, the 3 3/4 inch action figure. Before that, action figures they called them dolls. Like G.I. Joe was a doll, and there was like a 12-inch action figure. So Star Wars invented the small action figure, and they didn't even have toys for that when the movie came out. They didn't come out till the next spring, I don't believe. So, almost a year later. But yeah, so nobody was ever going to make that mistake again. So now this Batman movie is coming out, we're going to have toys and we're going to have hats and shirts and Taco Bell mules and all kinds of things.
So like the merchandise was very interesting aspect. And we see that today, nowadays too.
Yes.
Like, I think the up-to-date most example that I've seen it's like Stranger Things. Like, I find their shit everywhere because of that new season came out, season 5.
Yeah.
But my God, they have cereals, the fast food shit. You go to every store, there's socks, there's hats, there's toys, there's this, posters everywhere. It's crazy.
Have you had the Stranger Things Doritos yet?
No, I didn't even know that was a thing. All right.
They made them.
They even brought the light thing. The light, what is it called? The where you can put the little lights on there for the 80s. It's like an 80s toy. They brought that shit back.
Light Bright. Yeah,
Light Bright.
Yeah.
They got one of those shit back.
Yeah, that's one of the things I think is cool about Stranger Things is that they bring back all of this like really cool 80s stuff that's almost forgotten. Yeah. Like I think it was either last season or the season before. It had to have been the last season that they brought back new Coke.
Yeah.
Because like in 1985 or whatever, Coke had a new formula that failed. And so they brought back new Coke, and I still have it over here somewhere. I have a box of new Coke that I bought, and I drank one of them and saved one of them but anyway, they bring back all this like old, like retro shit that I love. I just think it's cool.
So it's really fun when like a really cool franchise does a lot of merchandising for that stuff. And obviously, because you're making money like two ways. You're making money from the merchandise and you're making money from the film sales as well too. So, very smart marketing strategy that Warner Brothers had during the release of this summer blockbuster of Batman. And boy, was it ever. So a couple things. So, our history segment is going to be a little light probably this month because like there's a lot to talk about when it comes to these movies. Yeah. So I don't really have too much stuff on the wrestling side. I might pick that up like next week and stuff because there's like a lot of talk about when it comes to this Batman movie. This thing would be like a 4-hour podcast or whatever. We broke everything down. But this one came out in the summer. Okay. We're looking around, I believe it was in June. All right. It was about, let me get my notes on here. Yeah, June 23rd, 1989. So that's the big old, they basically call it the summer of the Batman. All right.
Yes.
And this summer over here too. So, but before we get into all the details, which we are here in a second, talking about the Batman Mania, there is something that we are going to be doing that we've done in previous years on the Retro Blood, which is doing myself and Allison's annual stout reviews, because it is the season, brother, for the stout beer, which I'm super excited about. All right. So the first one I'll talk about Since I'm the traveling man over here, I'm actually, if y'all can see, I'm not in the Retro Blood studio. I'm on assignment in Gotham City, aka Buffalo. Oh, they the same, maybe.
I'm pretty sure that's how.
It could be the same. You never know.
After Buffalo.
Yeah. So.
For sure.
Yep. Hold on a second. You're breaking up a little bit. Hello?
Could be. It's probably similar.
Oh, you're back. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, you just broke up for a second, but that's cool. All right.
Yeah, you froze on me for a minute.
Okay. Hopefully it's not going to keep doing it. No, we should be good. All right. So the first one I want to talk about is what I'm drinking right over here right now. It's going to be this one from Plattner's Chocolate Factory. Okay.
Ooh.
It's a chocolate peppermint bark flavored stout. All right. Which is one of my favorite flavors around this particular season is the chocolate peppermint bark. All right. And this one so far is fucking good as shit. All right. Look at about 7%. All right. It is brewed. Let me see. I believe it's in Little Valley, New York, is where this one is from. And it's brewed and packaged by Ellicott Valley Brewing Company in Ellicott Valley, New York, and Little Valley, New York. So that's where this one is from. If y'all can see, it looks pretty cool over here. All right. Now, this ain't no paid advertisement or nothing like that. This is just beers that we like to drink. But hey, if y'all ever want to pay us to show your beer, I will drink your shitty beer all day, even if it's good.
Yeah. Even if it's good beers, that would be like a win-win. That'd be the icing on the cake. If we could get sponsored by a good beer company. Especially but we will also drink your shitty beer if you want, if you pay us.
So, this one's, it's not too bad. Okay. You could definitely taste the chocolate in it, which is awesome. I don't really taste too much of the peppermint. Let me try again. Yeah. Mostly I get like the chocolate. You could taste that like right off the bat, but you like the aftermath taste. You taste a little bit of the peppermint in there. But this one's pretty good. Like I would say it's pretty good. I'll probably give it like a 7 or 8. The ones I've had like this before. I could definitely see me drinking a lot of these and getting fucked up quick. All right, that's for sure.
Because it's a pretty high ABV on that one. But yeah, I don't know. Like I'm not a huge fan of mint in general, but that sounds like a really good Christmassy beer to have, and then that sounds pretty cool. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had this one though I was gonna get, bro. I was like, fuck, but it only like I'm traveling, so it only came in like a one of those 12 packs. So what am I supposed to do? Bring my fucking beer on the plane with me? No.
What are you saying? You can't drink 12 beers? Is that what I'm hearing you say? You can't.
Hey man, I ain't that crazy. Like all on the show, just back and forth. Maybe during the Halloween episodes I can. But they had this one from a Shiner. It's a new one, and it's pecan pie beer. Holy fuck! What?
Didn't we have a pecan Shiner before?
Yes,
a different one.
It's the flavor is the same as pecan, but this one's a pecan pie, brother. Add on the pie in there. All right.
I would like to taste that. I'm not a huge fan of candy bar beers, which is what I'd call that. But that pecan Christmas beer that we had, which we found that on the road somewhere accidentally, after Christmas when they weren't supposed to have it, and then we had one in the hotel room. But that was really good. Shiner, for a big company, I think Shiner makes some pretty good, decent stuff sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, them Higher Wire that's next to us makes some good stuff.
Oh, High Wire's great, yeah.
But Alison, you got any beer? Or do you want to save yours for next week?
No, I got something to talk about. So I want to talk about something local too. It's not really a stout, but it is a dark beer because that's what I originally started talking about. It's from my friends at Whaley Farm Brewery. It's a dark mild ale, which is like their newer. I mean, they've had it for a while, but it's like their newer cask ale. So like they have two of their beers every week on a hand pulled cask, like you would get in like London or like the way it used to be done in England where they would just pull it by hand. But this is a dark mild ale. It's a British style ale. So it's like, It's not a stout. It's hard to describe what it's like. It's like an ale. So it's like a dark, it's kind of like a winter warmer in a way.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's not a stout. So it's not really sweet and it's not thick like you think of as a stout, like the one you're drinking probably is, but it is dark and it just gives you this good roasted, malty, oaty taste to it, which I think is fantastic. And the thing I like about it most is it's 3.2%.
Okay.
So it's not even like, it has less alcohol in it than like a Budweiser, but so you can just sit and drink it all day. So you don't have to worry about getting fucked up. Like my body will process 3.2% alcohol as quick as I can drink it. So I have that and like a burger or something, and I can just sit and just drink and talk all day long, which is what I loved about it. But they currently have it on a draft at their brewery, but you have to come to this part of the world to have it. But I just want to talk about that because I really like that beer a lot, and I could go drink it every weekend.
Nice.
While it lasts.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, we talk about a bunch of them on every episode. So we'll find some different ones out there and give you all the lowdown of what we find. There's a couple ones I found on there. Some of those milk stouts that we love so much. Those are pouring.
I love milk stouts.
Too. So, but let's get into this because there's going to be a long episode talking about some of the making of the Batman '89 and of course the full breakdown of the story too. Because this is one of the most this has to be one of the most top films of all time. Just of like its very influence on like the Marvel and DC universe, almost both of them, really. So I think the most interesting part about like the making of this movie was the trying to get it made almost, because when they were shopping around, the idea for this Batman movie, everybody, even Warner Brothers at the time, just had the whole Adam West 1966 Batman in mind. Because Batman on the screen they wasn't. I think the Batman Adam West had a movie, and they had that TV show, but everybody just thought like Batman, was like this comic character. When it comes to TV and movies. Now, obviously, the comic books are way different. What I mean? We had the Killing Joke at this time. This movie took parts from. We had what is it? Batman Returns. I think it was a comic book around this time. Or
Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and those are like kind of more like darker stories, and most of the Bob Kane, story, with Batman was like more darker. Like it was only like the Adam West like TV shows and stuff were like the laughing ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Batman was, when he first started, was a really dark character.
Yeah.
Like comic books were like really dark then, and like you couldn't. Like some of the things that they did in comic books then, well, I mean, later on they would get them all banned in the 50s. A lot of them would. But like there was a lot of really dark things in the 30s and the 40s in Batman comics. And, they wanted to kind of bring that back. Tim Burton, that's why they got Tim Burton, is because they wanted to bring that kind of dark element back. But yeah, it's really weird to think that nobody wanted to make a Batman movie because they didn't think it would sell. It's crazy to think.
Well, like when I was doing some of my research, apparently during this time frame, the Batman character wasn't like big at all. Like there was like, it did like a study. There was like these other characters, like even those remember those Raisin guys?
Yes.
They were top billing over Batman. Like people would watch that shit over the Batman. You know what I mean?
They were more popular than Batman. Yes.
So it just at this particular time, it just wasn't big until the big marketing campaign and what happened was the Batman comic books were getting a very high sales because of all the new releases coming out, and they did a poll and a study that found out that 20 to 21-year-old males, usually white, like myself, all right, were buying these comic books like a lot. And that was the demographic. So what they did was they kind of Warner Brothers and all that figured that out. And that's where they kind of marketed towards the adults, but also towards the kids too, like both at the same time. So it was very good mark. And then it was kind of like promised to be more of a serious Batman. You know what I mean? For the trailer and stuff. So they got
Right.
away from that jokey shit that nobody was caring about at the time. So, but a couple things I think were pretty fun on here. One of the funniest things was, which is something we've seen even recently when it comes to the Batman franchise, was fans were outraged about who was going to be playing the Batman. And this is the first outrage that we got. Of course, later on, we would get outrage over Ben Affleck playing Batman, I believe. And then we had outrage over the Twilight guy. What's his name? Robert
Pattinson. Is that his name?
Yeah. Pattinson playing the Batman too. So those are the I think Michael Keaton, and Robert Pattinson, and then I just said his name. Fuck, what was his name? Who just played the Batman?
Ben Affleck. Yeah.
Those are the three that I know for a fact had big fan outrage on them. Like people were like freaking out. I don't remember Val Kilmer or George Clooney getting any kind of hate. I think people just didn't care at the time. They were just like, "Oh, there's another Batman movie."
Yeah, I think people were just either kind of over it or whatever. I mean, those movies are both pretty goofy. Period.
Yeah.
But I think people were kind of over Batman at that point. Until The Dark Knight, we didn't get another Batman movie.
Yeah, and I don't remember anybody being all pissy about Christopher. What's his name? Christopher
Nolan.
Nolan, yeah.
Gareth Bale played Batman in those. Yeah,
the Bale, the guy, the Bale guy. Yeah. I can't remember his name. Yeah, Christian Bale. My bad. Christian Bale.
That's his name. Yeah. Gareth Bale is a footballer.
Anyway. Whatever. The guy who yelled at somebody on the Terminator set, that guy.
Right. Yes, that guy. Yes.
But even though those movies are great. The whole Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy, which is vastly different than this movie, but did take a lot of elements from the 1989 Batman movie. Okay.
Yep.
So the first thing is, apparently with this Michael Keaton stuff, people were sending Warner Brothers a supposed 50,000 angry letters that Michael Keaton was cast as Batman. All right. And the big reason for this is because up to this point, Michael Keaton was known as a comedy guy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Big comedy
guy. He was in a bunch of comedies before this, mostly. Yeah.
And obviously the biggest comedy success he was in was Beetlejuice, which we did on the show before. So people were like, well, we thought we were getting away from this comedy Batman shit, and you're just putting this comedy guy in there. So they were pissed, and they wanted a more of a, there's a bunch of comments on here. Some of them are pretty funny because they even showed him on like a newscast. He's like, This guy's too short. He's too nerdy. He's too this. He's too that. It's kind of funny. He's like, he's not big enough to be Batman. All right. So, but basically Tim Burton, who worked obviously with Michael Keaton, he stood by his choice because he wanted somebody to look like somebody who could dress up as a bat. You know what I mean? And I think the big thing that they were trying to do was, which later on in Batman films they kind of got away from, they wanted to make the Bruce Wayne character not be like so flashy. You know what I mean? Kind of be like a normal looking dude. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then when he puts on the suit, that's when he turns his whole personality up to like a 10. You know what I mean?
Well, that's when it.
Unlike pretty boys like Val Kilmer, you know what I mean? Christian Bale, very, they can be like, good looking dudes, you know what I mean? And could be a badass character at the same time. Where Michael Keaton's more like a normal looking guy, you know what I mean? So that's what they were kind of going for, which I thought it worked really well, and I like that point. What do you think though, Alison? I'll talk about that for a second. Do you like your Bruce Wayne to be like playboy, good-looking millionaire guy who just goes out there and fights crime, or do you want him to be like more like a normal-looking millionaire dude?
Well, I think he should be normal-looking. I feel like I really like the Ben Affleck Batman. He's like my favorite actor who have played Batman.
Yeah.
But I feel like he was too buff, I guess. You know what I mean? Like if I saw Ben Affleck, I could believe that he's Batman, right? But if I saw Michael Keaton, I would be like, "There's no way that guy's Batman." And that's kind of the point he was trying to make, right? It was trying to be somebody who was normal looking during the day, and then he would come when he put on the suit, then he became Batman. So I like the idea is what I'm trying to say. Is I like the idea that he's a normal looking guy who becomes Batman when he puts on the suit.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Okay, so that's really funny. The Ben Affleck one, you like that one the most? Like I did. I
do. Yeah.
To be honest with you, I thought the Ben Affleck Batman was the best for like an older Batman. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
I agree.
He's been through the wars. You know what I mean? He's been there and done that. He's over everybody's shit. All right. I thought he did a great job on that aspect of Batman. Like if it was Batman year one, no, not good at all.
No. He's too old for that. Yeah.
20-year veteran Batman. Perfect. I thought he did fine with that. So,
yeah.
So, and then another big point to this movie, another big casting role for generations to come now too, is who would be playing our Joker in this Batman film. Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously during this time with the Adam West Joker, okay, it was very comedic. You know what I mean? Had like a mustache on there and everything, very comedy. So a big thing was they were trying to cast who was going to be the Joker. And it just so happens that they got one of the hottest actors of the 80s right now.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, you know inexplicably. But I did want to point out something, though. Yeah. But the only reason that the 1960s Joker had a mustache was because Cesar Romero refused to shave it off.
Yeah.
So they just painted his face paint over it.
I know. It's awesome. Hey, I can feel that.
But yeah, exactly. No, I'm not shaving for this role, brother. But yeah, they got Jack Nicholson, and the way they got him was because they gave him part of the profits and a lot of money and his own schedule and a part of the toys too.
Yeah. So basically, so Jack Nicholson at this time, he did what? Cuckoo's Nest. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, he did that in like the 70s, but he was a huge actor by this point. Like he was an A-list actor.
Like he did The Shining. Which he may or may not talk about.
Maybe.
Okay.
With a wink.
With a wink. All right. Yeah, I mean, he was coming off some like A-list shit, and he was top billing. So basically, he agreed to do the movie, but they couldn't really pay his salary that he was asking for the time. So then for that he did some demands. All right, which is great demands that he did. So
sure.
So I think at the time he was like, for a film he would get 10 million. That was like his asking price. Okay,
right.
They couldn't pay him the 10 million, so they gave him the 6. But then they gave him a cut of all the merchandise and the profits. And for him doing that, he made well above his asking price of a straight 10 mil.
Yeah.
It's supposedly that he earned 50 to 90 million alone off this film.
Off of merchandise. Yeah, like a lot of times that's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it, man. And he had a great filming schedule. He can film when he wanted to, so he can go see all his Laker games. Okay.
Yep.
He had top billing, which his name would be promoted the first, and he would be like the most recognizable character in the film. You know what I mean? Like when they promoted all the who's our top billing, it's going to be Jack Nicholson first, and then everybody else.
Well, right, but he was also, I don't know how you could bill it any other way, because he was by far the most famous actor in that movie at this time. I mean, Kim Basinger was decently famous, but she wasn't like super famous, and Michael Keaton was known but not super famous either. Yeah,
you had to like his genre to kind of know who he was.
Exactly.
But Jack, like we said before, he had so many hits at this time that he was just such a recognizable A-list celebrity. So they really, that's what they marketed the whole movie basically kind of around him. And it's probably one of the best deals anybody's ever made at this point in the 80s. I mean, my God. I mean, like, that was a very smart move for this guy. Like, I'll take half of all this stuff, because I think he could see that this movie was going to blow up. And he was just like, I'll take a cut of everything. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. So, plus, it's not like he needed the money. He was still making $6 million no matter what happened.
Exactly.
But I believe Alec Guinness did the same thing for Star Wars too. Like part of his salary was like the cuts of merchandise that didn't even exist. And then he made more money from Star Wars merchandise than he made from being in the movie.
So obviously we got our main director over here, Tim Burton. All right. Which I don't think was the first choice, but they ended up going with them. And apparently it was kind of he wasn't really like a comic book guy. All right,
Apparently
it was
not.
done. But apparently he read The Killing Joke and The Dark Knight Returns, and that's why he got a lot of inspiration for the tone of the movie from those comic books. I do like it though, going back to the Joker, that William Dafoe was considered to playing the Joker if Jack Nicholson did come through, which I think would have been pretty cool. But,
so I've heard that's just a rumor. Yeah. So I've heard that William Dafoe was considered for Batman.
Yeah.
And not the Joker, but that I've heard that was like a rumor that went around, because William Dafoe would have been a fantastic Joker. I don't know why that was not considered, but yeah, he would have. I think he would have been fantastic. I'll put it out there, like right on Front Street, that I feel like Jack Nicholson is the weakest part of this movie.
Oh, really? Well, he's like most. Of
I do not. I don't like his portrayal of the Joker. I just don't. And as we get more into the movie, I'll explain why, and I'll point something else out, but I just don't particularly like it. Yeah. But anyway,
I can see some of that, now that we've seen more movies with the Joker, and I'm like, Jack Nicholson's tone and portrayal of the Joker is vastly different from comic books, and pretty much everybody else does it. He does this, which is cool because he only does his own style, but it's also like kind of like different from what we would know to be the Joker. Like my favorite Joker of all time is the Batman from the animated series, Mark Hamill's Joker.
Yes, absolutely.
That one is fucking awesome.
Well, I mean, the Batman. Yeah, I was about to say the Batman animated series is the best version of Batman that's ever been.
Yeah,
I mean, I love that series.
That's right. If y'all don't agree with us, you could sound off.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. You're wrong, brother. So a big thing about this thing was apparently Robin was considered to be in this movie. Okay. Yeah. It had choices of Kiefer Sutherland, Lost Boy himself.
That'd be weird.
Eddie Murphy
as Robin.
Yeah. Or Marlon Wayans. So you could tell early on they were trying to make this more into like a comedy, like I said.
Yeah.
Until they vastly changed the tone of this Batman movie, a lot of the production stuff was going to be more like a comedy centric.
Yes.
Okay. And basically what they wanted to do was they wanted to do some of the earlier Batmans where Robin wasn't introduced yet.
I did want to say we kind of went past this, but they did also consider Wes Craven to be a director for this.
Yes, yes, he could have been one too. Yes,
originally.
So a couple of fun stuff on here too. Like I like the setting. So the setting of this movie, which we'll talk about during our review, is very cool. It's kind of like basically it was the set that you would see in the Batman animated series. It's very that style of texture and tone, where it kind of looks like, I don't know how to explain it, like a kind of like a 50s, 60s like architecture, but it's like more like very like unique, like very industrial, like a 50s industrial look. Very unique.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it kind of looks like I would say 40s or 50s, but it kind of looks like you can't like sometimes it looks like you're in the 1940s or 50s, but then they have like jets and high tech things, and you can't really tell when it takes place. Like it might be in the 50s, it might be now. It's hard to say. I just love the way it looks. The design of it's fantastic.
And apparently Anton First is the one that built the entire Gotham set on like some Pinewood Studios. So the whole set that we see, it's actually just like a built set that's like just films it where it looks like it's big, but it's not really big. It's just like a tiny little set.
Yeah. It was all filmed inside. No, I don't think there was any location footage shooting at all. It was all filmed inside a studio in London.
So one of the other interesting aspects of the marketing and the making of this film was the introduction to the music, which was done by one Prince at this time. All right. Who obviously is a big pop icon around the 80s. He actually before this movie even happened, he actually had an agreement with Warner Brothers already to do soundtrack movies for them. And this just so happens to be one of them. And, Tim Burton has been known to saying like he didn't think Prince's style fit the movie too much, which it kind of did and kind of didn't. But that's what the studio wanted him to go along with it. And of course, the song that Prince made inspired by this movie, the Bat Dance, kind of got him back on the Billboard charts after having a little lull for a couple years.
Yeah, that was a pretty big hit when that came out. Like, I remember buying that soundtrack when it came out, because I was a huge Prince fan anyway, but then it was also the summer of Batman. So it was, that was a must have. And then you have the Danny Elfman soundtrack too.
Yeah. Yeah, he did more of the musical stuff on there.
Right. Yeah, the score.
Which we'll play that Bat Dance for the podcast listeners after this.
Okay.
There you go. There's our music for the week, brother. Some Prince on here.
Bat Dance. Prince, yeah.
So a couple of cool stuff about the film. Obviously, this is the birth, so to say, of the Batman voice that we would see be replicated in a bunch
pretty
of
much,
Batman movies. Yes. Because it was Michael Keaton's suggestion that Batman does his like whispering voice on here to kind of be like a little different. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, of course, you wouldn't want people to recognize your voice if you were Batman, right? So it only makes sense that you'd use a different kind of voice.
Yep. And pretty much after this, every Batman has done a different Batman voice. Probably Christian Bale's being the most famous one. Yes. The most ridiculous one, maybe.
The most ridiculous one. Christian Bale. One thing I hate about the Christian Bale movies was he would do the Batman voice when he was talking to somebody who even knew he was Batman. And sometimes he does it when there's nobody around at all. Like when he's talking to himself, he'll still do the Batman. Maybe he just likes the Batman voice.
He has to hear it to get himself going, brother. Okay. Come on now.
Got to stay in character.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got on here. See what we got here for more stuff on here. So apparently this one was very successful financially and everything. All right.
This movie? Oh yeah. It was a huge hit.
Apparently it made $400 million in the box office. All right.
Which at the time was a lot of money.
Yes.
That would be probably a flop now, but it was a huge time. It was a huge amount at the time.
Yeah. So, I mean, like just one of the biggest, deals going on over here. I'll tell you. So it was the biggest ones to kind of like get this project going was the producers Benjamin Milliker and Michael E. Alison. They're the one that purchased the rights of Batman from DC on October 3rd, 1979. Okay. Yeah. And it basically took them 10 years to kind of get this movie made and production and, out of the tone of being like a comedy into this film that we see today. So very interesting when it comes to that. And it was Tom, that guy has a weird McKinsey. He's the one that completed the script titled The Batman in June 1983, focused on Batman and Dick Grayson's origins. All right, so he was one of the ones that was doing the script on there. There's so much stuff. They were, like I said, they were basically getting it kind of went in levels. It would start off with like they're gonna get Batman to be more of a comedy, and then later this grew and grew and grew until they wanted to do more of like a solo Batman, a little bit more serious, but still have some comedic elements in it. Mostly that would be the Joker stuff.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah. I will point out as we go, but there's some quite funny lines in this movie that I think are hilarious.
Yeah. And then obviously too, it was Pee-wee's Big Adventure. That was 1985. That basically got Warner Bros. To hire Tim Burton to direct the Batman. All right. It was because of that success of that movie.
Well, and the success of Beetlejuice.
Yes, and Beetlejuice as well too. All right, let's see what else we got on here. Anything fun? So Burton did approach Sam Hamm, a comic book fan, to write the screenplay. All right.
Yeah. So my understanding was he wrote a screenplay originally, and then because of some kind of writer's strike, he couldn't do the rewrite, so they had to get that other guy to do it.
Yep. Oh, I think there was one interesting story too about the lady who played Vicky Vale. All right.
Yes, Kim Basinger.
Kim Basinger. She was basically a last minute casting call. I thought that was pretty funny. Because the girl who was supposed to be before her, Sean Young, all right, was originally cast as Vicky Vale. Yes.
Weird.
But
Okay.
she was injured in a horse riding accident prior to commencing of the film. Okay. So Young's departure necessitated an urgent search for an actress who, besides being right for the part, could commit to the film at a very short notice. So Peter suggested Kim Basinger was able to join the production immediately and was cast. As a fan of Michael Gought's work in various Hammer horror films, Burton cast Gaunt as a Bruce Wayne's mysterious butler, Alfred. So that's how we got Alfred, but also too, that's how she got it basically the part of the last minute, which is crazy for being such a big iconic role in there. So, but before we get going, I just want to give these names. There were some more people supposedly in line to their thing about playing the Joker. They had Tim Curry, which would have been interesting. Right.
Yeah, I think that would have been. That would have been as good as Jack Nicholson. To be honest with you, I think Tim Curry would have been fine.
David Bowie, the artsy Joker, I guess.
I could see that too.
John Lithgow. All right. Brad Dourif, Ray Liotta, and James Woods. All right.
Yeah. Ray Liotta, I think, would have been a really, really, really good Joker. He's the guy that was in Goodfellas.
Yeah.
That played one of the gangsters in Goodfellas. I think he would have been fantastic.
I like the.
So apparently, Robin Williams was also on the bucket. He was actually lobbying hard for the part. All right.
Yes.
But basically, Jack Nicholson has always been the studio's top choice since the 1980s. That's what it says on here. So.
I like the.
Cool. All right. So that's just a little bit about the making of the Batman 1989. A lot of stuff. There's a lot more to this film too. I mean, we can go on for hours about little hidden details in there, contract disputes, all kinds of shit on here. But we only have so much time here on the Retro Blood. But let's get into it. Let's get into the full review of Batman 1989.
Yeah, 1989.
Let's do it.
Vicky Vale.
Bruce Wayne.
And what do you do for a living?
Lieutenant, is there a 6-foot bat in Gotham City?
Nice outfit.
You look fine.
I didn't ask. I have given a name to my pain.
What are you?
I'm Batman. Where did he get those wonderful toys? My life is really complex. Winged freak terrorizes. Wait till they get a load of me.
All right. So we start off the film by seeing some shots of the cool, dark looking fucking Batman Gotham City. Which I guess Gotham, is it more like Chicago or New York?
Oh man, that's a debate for people have. I think Gotham City is more like New York.
Yeah.
That's my idea. That's New York City.
Okay, I agree with that, but it seems like a lot of the accents around there are very Chicago though. Like the gangsters, the way the accents are.
I mean, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. In this case, it's London.
That's right. Yeah.
The Christian Bale Batman movies were filmed in Chicago, though. So in that case, Gotham definitely was Chicago.
Yeah. So I think it's like I think Gotham is supposed to be like a mixture of both. Okay.
Yeah.
So I actually like this opening scene, and I did not realize it before. Like when I was watching it again, like a rewatch on here for a couple times. So we have like a fake out at the beginning of the film, which I appreciate because God, it feels like every Batman shows the origins of the Bruce Wayne character. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
His parents, after the movie, they walk down an alley and they have a gunman. What's his name? Jim, something like that. They usually
Jack.
Jack, yeah.
In this case, it's Jack Napier.
Yeah, Jack Napier's do this one, but the comic book one is I think his name is Jim or something like that, and he's the one that usually like kills the Batman's parents and stuff. Right in front of him, and that's when Batman takes the oath of fighting crime, and then he sees bats out of the Batcave and stuff. So this one, it looks like it's going to happen like that, but it's actually just a normal family trying to get a cab, who can't get a cab. All right. So we see that they're in a dark alley, okay, and they basically rob the family. They don't really kill anybody. They basically knock out the guy and they steal the girl's purse. Then we have these two thugs. They're basically there, and I like the way they look too. They look like thugs. They're very ragged and stuff. Like I think this movie does a really good job of showing like the atmosphere of everything.
Yes.
Like we can tell that this place right away is like a crime-ridden city. You know what I mean? There's a lot of crime going on here. It's very dirty. It's kind of like it's kind of like New York in the 80s. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like very like dirty, very like, sketchy and shit. You know what I mean? We've seen that in a bunch of movies that we've done on this podcast. So we're seeing that, and we see these two guys basically talking about like, is this Batman guy, like they heard like he was getting some of these people and like kind of hanging them from the roofs and stuff, and the one guy's like, they ain't no fucking thing as a Batman and stuff. And of course we can see the Batman coming. How do you like the Batman here? Like he always has that pose when he's coming down.
I love that. I think it looks cool. I think it looks awesome.
Fucking cool shit. By the way, we didn't talk about this, but I thought it was really funny. Was the Batman suit that Michael Keaton had to wear? Like it was so fucking tight that he couldn't move his neck. So you see him do all these like weird like poses over here.
So this is the first time that Batman couldn't turn his head.
Yeah.
The suit was really controversial at the time too.
Yeah.
Because it was the first armored suit that Batman ever had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before that, he just wore like a cloth outfit, like he does in the comics. And they explained, because they wanted a reason to explain why would Batman wear a yellow symbol on his chest. And they said because it's like a target. So people shoot at the armor on his chest so they don't shoot him in the head. This is the argument that they made.
Yeah, and it makes sense to have an armored suit if you're getting shot at. You know what I mean? A cloth ain't gonna stop them bullets. You know what I mean? So, we see that later on, like, after this movie and stuff, like have a lot more of the traditional Batman suit, of like the armored suit on there, which makes more sense if you're trying to do more of a serious type of film anyway. So eventually Batman catches the villains and stuff, and he does his famous line. Like, what are you? Who are you? I'm Batman.
Yeah.
And apparently it was supposed to be some other line. Like, I am vengeance. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the dark, I am vengeance. But Michael Keaton just wanted to make it like a little bit easier for the audience to understand. So that's why he came up with the I am Batman, which he still does when he joins 30 or 40 years later, the Flash movie. Did you see that when they brought him back in the Flash?
I haven't seen that. I need to watch that. I don't really care for the guy playing the Flash. I just don't like that actor. I just don't think he's good as the Flash. But I want to watch that because I want to see Michael Keaton as the Batman again.
Yeah, I watched it. I thought his parts are cool. The other parts of the movie, it's all right. But his parts are actually really cool. Like when they bring all him stuff back and stuff. So, so this is when he basically drops the criminal and he hangs him like a lot of Batmans would do over that period of time. So now we're also establishing the crime bosses at this time too. And we're also establishing Harvey Dent. Okay. On this program as well. Because Harvey Dent is doing a press conference because he's trying to run for mayor, or he is mayor. Or he's trying to become like, the mayor of Gotham. And of course,
Right.
Harvey Dent at this time got cast from Tim Burton. It was the Billy D. Wallace, who was known for Star
Billy
Wars.
D. Williams. Yeah.
Billy D. Williams.
Yeah. He played Lando in Star Wars.
Yes, exactly. And apparently, Tim Burton, like, he wanted to have him play the Two-Face character. Okay. Until some contracts disputes and stuff later on, where they dropped him, and they eventually got what's that guy that played Two-Face in Batman 3?
Oh God, if you hadn't a minute brought that up, I could have told you.
God, I can't really remember. I can't remember his name, but he's a pretty big actor. All right?
Yeah, very big actor. Super big actor. Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. That's his brother.
Yes.
Names. All right. Coming there. God, he sucked as Two-Face too. All right. So they're basically doing like this press conference, and the mayor wants them to have like a big festival to kind of get like the Gotham economy booming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The show, like, like Gotham's not dying for crime and everything. We're going to have this big festival so people can start spending money again. All right. And of course, Harvey Dent's like, well, I don't know if we can afford any of this stuff. We spent already like $250,000 on this carnival. I haven't seen any balloons yet, which would later pay off. All right.
Yes.
So we also, at this time too, we have the big crime boss, Carl Grimson. All right. Played by another famous actor,
Jack Palance.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, now I'm going to say this right now, Jack Palance would have been a better Joker than Jack Nicholson. Yes. What I see is Carl Grissom. That's what the Joker should be to me. Just dark and kind of creepy. And that's what the Joker should be.
I don't know, man. I thought this guy talks super weird in this movie.
He does. Jack Palance talks weird in every movie. He talks weird. He's almost like a Christopher Walken type actor, where he plays every role the same, kind of, in a way. Like, he just has this way of talking. But yeah, I would have been fantastic, I think.
Where was Christopher Walken during the Joker talks? Huh?
I think that could have been good too. And then they relegate him to being Max Schreck in Batman Returns.
There you go. That'd be fucking wild. So we have Carl. He's like the big boss, and of course, his number one at this time was Jack Napier. Okay.
Yep.
And they obviously, you could see that Carl's like wife is kind of like smitten a little bit with Jack Napier. Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll see what she does next. And it was the Alice Hunt, his mistress. Okay. And the big thing about this time is they basically, you could right away, you could see that this Carl Grimson guy kind of wants to get rid of Jack Napier. Like, he doesn't really trust him, because Jack Napier, he's talking to the corrupt Gotham police lieutenant, Max Eichelhart. All right. And Eichelhart is basically saying, like, you're never going to be number one, Jack. You know what I mean? You're always going to be like a number two kind of guy. Okay.
Right.
So basically, they come up with this plan, or Carl does, where he wants to send Jack Napier and his guys in to the Axe plant, okay, to get some preparations ready to kind of take over the city. But it's all like kind of like a ploy in a way. And of course, like, Axe chemical plant is supposed to be the Ace chemical plant from the comic books.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So part of this movie takes from the Killing Joke Joker's one of many Joker's origin stories, probably the most famous one, where you have Joker. Like, so the difference is, and see me if I got this correct, is basically in the Killing Joke, the Joker is not like a crime boss. He's kind of like a nerd. Like, he's kind of like he wants to be part of the criminal organization, but he's kind of like a klutz in a way.
In the Killing Joke.
The Killing Joke, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a klutz.
Yes.
And he was the original Red Hood. All right. And his story was he did go into the chemical plant. Okay. And he did get dropped into the chemicals that made him Joker by Batman. Okay. But he was never like a huge, serious crime boss guy at the time, like this Jack Napier guy is. Okay.
Right.
So during all this stuff, this is also too when we meet under cast, we have the news reporter Alexander Knox, who was the guy who was on the scene, and he was talking to the corrupt police officers of Gotham, saying, "Look, he's basically like, well, you know, how did this guy get hanged up? Are these reports of this Batman guy, you know, true?" The guy's like, "No, there ain't no Batman. This guy just slipped on a banana peel." All right. So then Alexander, he goes back into his office, and all the journalistic co-workers are making fun of him for like writing the story about Batman and everything, that he even gets a drawing, which apparently was signed by Bob Kane.
Bob Kane. Yeah, I saw that.
Which is
that was kind of cool.
Which obviously one of the creators of Batman, along with Chris something. All right. So this is when Alex meets Vicky Vale. And boy, you never see more of a horny guy than this guy. But, you know, she was a looker, so I don't blame him. All right. And this is when Vicky, she's kind of like she's kind of like a photographer lady. Okay. And she was interested in the investigation of the Batman sightings. Okay. And they actually had like a pretty good reference on here. Of her going to that Kline Island, the island that's also used in like a lot of other Batman lore on here. So now they're basically trying to like, you know, get some more investigation on this this vigilante and stuff, and they decide both to attend for the fundraiser that's going on by billionaire Bruce Wayne. Okay. So that's like kind of like all the parts we got going on over here. All right. So, well, basically what we see is we see two moving parts around this time.
Right.
So we see that Vicky Vale and Alexander, they go to the Bruce Wayne party. All right. And right away, you can see that Bruce Wayne is very attracted to this Vicky Vale girl. Okay. He acts a little nervous, and he's a little like, you know, kind of follows them around and stuff. They go into his room. I guess when they're like searching around a bunch of stuff in there, they were trying to figure out, like, Vicky Vale asked Bruce, like, do you know where's Bruce Wayne at? And the guy's like, I don't know, I've never seen him. All right. And then they got a little part where they talk and they're about all this like fancy stuff that Bruce Wayne has and everything. They're like making fun of him. He's probably some pompous asshole. And then Bruce is right behind them and stuff. And it's a pretty cool scene showing them. Showing them, Bruce Wayne has like a little sense of humor. Okay, it's not like a stuck-up guy or nothing like that.
No, I thought that scene was really cool where he's like where they're talking about all those things, and like he has all this weird stuff like you would expect like a rich, wealthy guy to have. Yeah. And then Knox is looking at that suit of armor or whatever, and he's like, Michael Keaton's like, oh, it's Japanese. He's like, how do you know that? He's like, because I bought it in Japan. Yeah. And then that's when they figure out that he's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. And then like, so during this is when Jack Napier and his crew goes to the chemical plant. And they were going in there to go steal to the documents, you know what I mean? Prepare to sabotage the big parade that's going to be happening. But then they open up the safe and there's nothing in there but a bunch of papers. And Jack's like, oh, guys, we've been found it out. All right. We've been lied to. All right. So they now start fighting both. They start fighting the corrupt cops that are trying to take him out. But then during this, Commissioner Gordon, while at Bruce Wayne's party, gets a heads up saying Jack Napier's at this Axe chemical plant and just up to no good. So that's when we have kind of like two sides going after Jack. We have the bad police and the good police at the same time going after Jack. Okay. And of course, this is also too when we see how Batman, Bruce Wayne, kind of gets all his information because he records everybody. All right. On some VHS.
Wow. I know.
Cameras everywhere.
That was, I guess that was high tech technology back then.
That tape never runs out, brother. It keeps spinning all day long. All right. This ain't no digital shit, brother. We got that on film. All right. So he gets a heads up from Alfred that this is going on, so he excuses himself from Vicky and Alex, and he goes and suits up to go stop the crime that's about to happen, because that's what he does.
Right.
All right. And then that's when they're kind of, Vicky and all them are sitting there, and that's when we can see some of the Batcave of all the cameras and videotapes everywhere. Okay. So while this is happening, we have the big old fight scene in the power plant, which I thought was pretty good.
Right.
You know, like, man, it's crazy how this movie, like, it just, the fighting, the look of it is very similar to the Batman animated series. Just the way that everything is kind of like, you could tell like this is a big influence on the way that series made. Okay. So I thought that was
for sure.
Pretty neat on there. So the big parts of this is the scuffle and stuff. I do like when the part where Batman hits the guy and like the guy, like the hat falls out and then he falls.
Yeah.
I thought that was probably pretty funny.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So we get a big part of the Batman facing Jack on the bridge part. So they're kind of going back and forth. We can see that Commissioner Gordon's trying to get Jack Napier on there and slow down stuff, but they keep going back and forth. Jack's number one, Bob, all right, kind of like helps him to not get beat up by the Batman. And he almost gets the Batman, but then Batman overturns him. And then this is when we have the scene where he falls down into the deadly chemicals. All right. Now,
and I think he's dead.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? Like the Joker being like formed in a way, like, I guess from his going to these deadly chemicals that just turn your skin white and make your mouth funny. All right.
Right.
Like it amped up his already crazy personality. So that's basically the story of the Joker. Or do you like the Joker just being some out of nowhere weird wild guy like the Dark Knight Returns ones? Which one do you prefer?
I like the Red Hood origin Joker better. I don't mind him just coming out of nowhere, but I like the idea that he got dropped in these chemicals, and because of his skin was disfigured, it drove him psychotically insane. I like the idea of that. So I like that better.
And during this too, Napier also kills the corrupt cop. All right. Ickerhart has revenge for double crossing him. All right.
Right.
This is also too when we see Napier, like he survived the chemical stuff by raising up his fingers, and you can see all his playing cards with them. All right. And then we can see that he is now disfigured. I think this scene was always a fun one where he actually finds out like he's like in a chair and his doctor was like forced to put surgery on him. And the doctor's like, there's only so much you can do. Look at the equipment you gave me.
Right.
And equipment's like these like stuff you would see in Saw. You know what I mean? Like just like horror items and shit. And they're like, what do you want me to do? All right, you kidnapped me over here.
This is the best I have.
And he takes off his face, he looks at it, and he smashes the mirror and he starts laughing. I always thought that was a really cool scene.
Yeah.
All right. And then obviously now you can see that we're getting the green hair, white face one. Okay. So now we get the scene where Napier is taking his revenge now. All right. So he goes to Carl's lair because Carl's reading about, he knows Napier's dead. They got stuff on the Batman being a very terrifying creature. All right. Out there, he's getting some bad press already too. So Jack Napier comes in there, and a really good scene of them going back and forth and saying like, you didn't kill me and stuff. Like you only made me stronger. All right. And this is when he's not going by Jack Napier, he's going by the Joker now. And this is when he kills. All right. And he kills him.
Yeah.
All right. And then he basically takes over the mantle of being like the major crime boss at this time. And I do like it when the side piece comes in. Yeah. All right. And from shopping. And then you can see him all in his makeup and everything. And he's up like, oh, welcome home, honey. And then she just passes out.
I like the
right. And then next time we don't see her until she has like a creepy mask on and shit.
Right.
Man, it's fucking crazy. So during this time too, we also have a connection forming right now between Bruce Wayne, all right, and our girl, our Vicky.
Yeah.
All right. So they're going out on a couple dates. They had that really like awkward scene where like they're in his mansion eating the soup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. And she's all like, is this, she's like, this place doesn't picture me as you. It's like, well, part of it is and part of it isn't.
Right. That was pretty funny where she's like, there's a lot of humor in this movie.
Yeah.
And I think are really funny, subtle things
humor. Subtle humor.
Right. Like how they're sitting at this big table and they can't really hear each other because they're so far apart.
Yeah.
And then she's like, do you like eating in here? And then he's like, he like talks about it. He's like, yeah, I like eating here. And he looks around. He's like, I don't think I've ever been in this room before.
Yeah, never been in this room.
Like just, it's like little subtle things that I think are hilarious.
Yeah. And then they go out drinking, having a good time, and then they eventually hook up. All right. So we're having the old Bruce Wayne Playboy. All right. Going, starting here in the Batman 89. All right. So during this stuff, the Joker basically takes offense to the Batman getting all the headlines of basically kind of terrorizing Gotham because he's like this mystery bat figure. So Joker's like, well, wait till they get a load of me. All right. So basically,
one of the most famous lines in the movie.
Yeah, one of the most famous lines in the movie, brother. So basically, the first thing the Joker does, he begins to lace hygiene products with the Smilex. All right. It's basically a chemical that'll make you laugh. All right. So they're doing a news report about this.
I like the
while like talking about the story about uncontrollable laughing around the city, while the newscaster starts laughing, and then she basically gets killed by the drug. All right.
Right.
And then we see a really fun, very Tim Burton style Joker commercial talking about the laughing gas products that could be in anything, basically. All right.
Exactly.
So I thought I thought that stuff is always pretty fun. Like that's why I kind of like the Jack Nicholson Joker a little bit because I like he's a crazy crime boss, but he also has like this he wants everything to be very like all about him, all theatrical, very very entertaining. You know what I mean? Like a very entertaining psycho guy, basically. So very, very full of himself and everything. So, so then during all this stuff, like he's, lacing all the products and everything, he's like cutting out a bunch of pictures. Okay. And we can see that earlier that they did like a press conference. And it was like Harvey Dent stuff and some of the mayors doing this press conference. And this is when we had the scene of all the Joker's mimes show up.
I like the
which is also cool.
Yeah. Because a lot of the Joker's like later henchmen would just be like normal henchmen with like clown makeup on. But apparently like some of the original Joker's henchmen were like mimes.
Yes. Because mimes are creepy and scary.
Yes, exactly. So they show up, and this is when Joker kind of like introduces himself to like the masses and stuff during this press conference, basically. All right, and he starts shooting them, and this is when he gets photos. Like they were taking photos of everybody, and one of the photos was of Vicky Vale, and this is when Joker starts being obsessed with her. All right, so he comes up with a plan to kidnap her. All right, this is also when he imitates the crime boss Carl and tells Bob that you're my number one. Which is never famous line in the movie. All right. So
I like the
basic. So this kind of leads up to probably my favorite scene in the movie, where Joker basically comes up with kidnapping Vicky Vale. Okay, which was he basically pretended to be like a Bruce Wayne and invite her to like an art gallery to have like, to kind of go over her portfolio of pictures. Okay. And so Vicky calls up the Alfred and says, hey, I'm going to be late to me and Bruce's dinner. Okay. And Alfred's going to go relay the message. And then Alfred relays the message to Batman, Bruce Wayne. And he's all he's like, what dinner? I didn't know about a dinner. All right. So that's when we see Vicky go into this art museum. She's sitting down, everything, eating and stuff. She gets a little package. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
says, open this right now. She opens it. It says, put this on right now. So she puts it on.
It's a gas mask.
It's a gas
Yeah.
mask. So everything starts going gassing in this whole room, right? And Joker basically just kills everybody at this art galleries, mixed in with the restaurant, while she has the gas band on. Then you can see him coming in and playing some of his Prince music and just walking around and then they're like destroying all these paintings and stuff. I love this scene. I've always loved this scene since I was a kid. One of my favorite scenes out of a Batman movie. All right. So then he starts talking to Vicky. All right. You know, like going over all her work, saying crap, crap, crap. Oh, this one's cool. Of all the dead bodies and stuff. And then he's like kind of like flirting with her a little bit. And, you know, he's asking for a kiss. Then she pours water on him. All right. Then he's like, oh, my eyes. And she's like, oh, shit. He's like, never mind. Then like half his face was coming off from the paint and everything. I was like,
but he's also doing, he was kind of the I'm melting from the Wicked Witch of the West thing from the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
And then she's like patting him on the back and she's like looking to see if he's okay. And then he pops over. He's like, boo. And then like, you can see the makeup on his face, like wiped off. I don't like that he uses makeup to make himself look not like the Joker. I don't think that's something the Joker would do.
Well, I
don't like that. And I'm glad he doesn't do it again, but I didn't love that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was kind of weird. I guess like he was just making himself look normal and stuff because he does that during the scene with the crime bosses. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
He's coming over to taking over. And I guess he was just doing that to show him that he's like serious, I guess. And then like, that's the point where like, you know, the crime bosses, they can either fall in line or not. One of them doesn't. And then he starts using the good old handshake device from the comic books that he does that melts that one guy.
Yes.
All right. So I think that's why he did the regular makeup just to kind of like show that he's still like Jack Napier. You know what I mean? He's still like he's basically taking over the reins, but since he has this Joker persona, he could be a little bit more animated.
Right.
That way. So during all this stuff, Batman comes in and he rescues Vicky Vale from the treacherous sights of the Joker. And Joker does this famous line, "Those damn toys." All right. You know, Batman's using a zip line and everything.
Yeah. Where does he get all those amazing toys?
Yeah. Well, I know where he gets them. He gets them for the Toys R Us. That is on sale right now.
Yeah, it's on sale right now. Get your Batman toys.
Get your Batman toys on sale right now. All right. So then this is when we have Batman taking Vicky Vale to the Batcave. Okay. And then to, you know, kind of get her out of harm's way, they do a bunch of scenes where they're shooting up the Batmobile and stuff, but they can't do it because it has armor. And apparently it was in the contract that the Batmobile could not blow up at all because kids, like, they wanted to have it where kids bought the toys that they believe this car is indestructible. So that's why they came up with the whole shield armor for that, which I thought was fun. And this is when Batman pretty much tells her that the drug that Joker's using, that Smilex and stuff, it has to be combined with other products to work. Like, you know, if you have it in hairspray and stuff, you have to use it with like hairspray and makeup or something like that for it to take a full effect of everything. Okay. So this is also too where Bruce Wayne is kind of like, he wants to tell Vicky his true identity because, you know, he's getting very close with her and stuff. All right. And before he's going to be doing this, that's when the Joker appears. Okay. And he's like, you know, why did you leave me so much, you know, fast from the art gallery and stuff? And this is when we have the scene of the Joker and Bruce Wayne meeting. All right. I like when like Bruce shows up, he's like, oh, I see there's another guy here.
He says there's another rooster in the hen house.
Yeah, there's a rooster in the hen house. All right. And this is the part where Bruce acts a little crazy. He's like, you want to be crazy? I'll be crazy. And this is when Joker does.
It was weird.
Random, out of nowhere. And then this is when Joker does the line, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? And then Bruce
and that triggers something.
Triggers something. And then he shoots Wayne. Okay. And then of course, you know, everybody, you know, Vicky and all of them stuff thinks Bruce is dead, but obviously is alive. And that's when they're about to like, kidnap Vicky again, but this is when Batman intervenes.
Right.
And, this is when we have basically saves her and stuff. Then Batman gets away, and then when Batman's at his cave, this is when I guess Vicky comes over again. This is when Alfred pretty much introduces Vicky to Bruce Wayne in the Batman cave, and then she basically tells him, Bruce Wayne is Batman. What did you feel about that?
Yeah.
Did you think the love interest should know who's Batman is, or what do you think?
I hated it. I absolutely hated that.
Apparently that was
I did.
thing. Yeah. A lot of people didn't like that part about the film.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. Like, I think that so originally that Vicky Vale character was going to be a character from the comic. Well, Vicky Vale is from the comics, but she was going to be a different comic character called Silver St. Cloud that had a relationship with Batman and didn't know that Bruce Wayne was Batman. So that may be a leftover from that. But yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like where they basically tell her that he's Batman.
Yeah,
his identity should be a secret.
So basically, what we're supposed to believe in this film is Alfred wants Bruce Wayne to have like a human side, because he's kind of like an isolated man and stuff. He obviously has a lot of trauma, and the way to get out of his trauma is being in the Batsuit and stuff. So Alfred thought it'd be nice if he actually had some, female companionship that kind of like help out the trauma and, not be so isolated like he is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much why Alfred's reasoning was before this. So now Bruce Wayne basically wants to challenge the Joker and stuff. All right, and then basically he's going to be destroying the Joker's plan. Which this is when he goes out to the Axis, plant, and he goes in there and he like destroys the plant. This is when we get killer Batman over here.
Yes.
Drives into the plant. They're all shooting his Batman car. He's fighting people, throwing them out buildings and stuff. He plants a bomb on here and kills everybody in that fucking plant. He don't give a fuck. This Batman does.
Nope.
All right.
No, this is not the 1960s Batman for sure.
No. All right. Now, granted, this was a PG-13 movie. Okay.
Yes.
And it's not like we saw like blood and guts hanging around everywhere, but it was implied if you dig deep into it that he killed everybody in this plant. Okay.
Yes.
So then during this time, now Joker's plan is to infect Gotham City during the parade. All right.
Yes.
So Joker goes out to the parade and stuff. All right. And he's basically at this time, he does this whole newscast, which is pretty cool. Like he's like kind of like taking over the newscast by like flipping over the screen, saying
that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're saying he's basically put a bounty on Batman's head for $20 million. Okay, and he's like, basically, we're all gonna go to this parade, and I'm gonna give out this money, and you all could give me the Batman at this parade. Okay,
yeah.
So they do the Batman, they do the whole parade and stuff. Very cool scene. They're playing the Prince's song and everything. Everybody's dancing and everything. He's getting out his Joker balloons, which is super cool and everything. He has like these. It's the whole scene is very like it's kind of slow, but it's like very like builds. It like builds towards it. Very fun.
Yeah, and it all looks like a cool Tim Burton movie. It's got the whole kind of design that Tim Burton has on everything. It just looks awesome.
Looks fun.
Looks really good.
So one of my favorite like parts of this part was, Batman's on the bat plane. All right, we gotta get them toys in, brother. Which
I gotta have another toy to buy.
I forgot, like, oh shit, we're getting the bat plane already. Like I thought that would build on to the later sequels, but no, we got the Batmobile and the Batcave and the bat plane all in one movie.
Yeah, you gotta have those vehicles to buy with your action figures.
So while Joker is giving out his money, which supposedly the money was supposed to be like him on a $1 bill. You know what I mean? Because that's what he wanted. Like he was asked, like, what do you think about George Washington? He was like, well, I want to be like him because I want to be on the $1 bill. Okay. Right. So it is implied. I don't think they didn't have the budget. They didn't shoot it, but it was implied all that money that Joker was giving out was counterfeit. It was just him and a $1 bill. All right. Everybody was scrambling for. So then they start doing the whole gas everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is when the Axe and Vicky are there. Okay. They're trying to like get some more, stop what's going on. And they get into the car to get away from the gas. All right. But this is when Batman takes his bat plane and he captures the balloons. All right.
Yes.
And he takes the balloons away at the bat plane. And the Joker's like, those are my balloons. He took my balloons. Bob, come over here. He's like, you got my balloons. Give me your gun. And he just shoots his number one. All right. I was like, fuck, this is crazy. You know what I mean? So that whole scene, like the Joker being like very sporadic like that, I thought it was really good for the character.
Yes. Yeah. Where he seems crazy. Yeah. It was awesome.
And then he goes and challenges the bat plane, where he's like dipping and trying to shoot him and stuff. And he tries to shoot the bat plane with his really long gun. Thought that part was pretty cool too. All right. So then we got, all right. And then we actually do have Joker shooting down the bat plane. Okay. And it crashes in the cathedral. All right. And then this is where the Joker takes Vicky again as a hostage. All right. And then the Batman pursues the Joker in the cathedral and stuff. All right. And this is basically when we see flashbacks and stuff of Jack Napier is the one who actually killed Bruce Wayne's family. All right. So they retcon that from the comic book being just a low-life killer to actually being the Joker himself. So it was implying in this movie that the Jack Napier made Batman and Batman made the Joker. So it's like a big cycle.
Right.
Basically they were doing, which is, I thought was pretty cool. I thought that was nice.
And then the Joker even had to mention that. He's like, I said you made me, and now you have to say you made that I said you made me, and now you just have to say that I made you just to one up me or whatever. But so he basically created Batman. Yeah. And
that's always been like a very big, they've always been connected with the Batman series, Batman and Joker. They've always been very connected with each other. They both made each other basically. All right. And apparently that's a thing where they were saying, a lot of the comic book people were saying they liked that storyline a little better. Yeah. About the Joker kind of like being the one who, because like they're kind of more connected that way.
Right.
So he's influencing the Joker. So during this, we have the Joker taking up Vicky up to the bell tower. Batman's following her stuff. The shoe falls and everything. I like when Batman gets up there, he just throws off a villain. Just don't give a fuck. Kills his ass, no problem. All right. So we have Batman and Joker fighting. And the favorite part I had of this part was like Joker's getting his ass whipped. And he's like kind of coming down. He just like puts on the glasses. Like, you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? He's like beats his ass.
And that just comes out of nowhere. Yeah.
Out of nowhere. So eventually we get them to they're hanging. You know what I mean? So they're fighting on the top of the cathedral and stuff. And Joker gets the upper hand of them. And they're both hanging on. Batman and Vicky are both pretty much like handing, they're holding on to the ledge. Yeah, that we might see in a different movie we're reviewing this month. Hint, hint, coming up pretty soon. A very famous hanging from the ledge scene. All right. Yeah, and there is the Joker is trying to like hit the bricks and everything, and he eventually hits it, and like the girls start to fall. All right, and then Batman uses his grappling hook to hook Joker's leg to the gargoyle. All right, and then he hooks it to the gargoyle and stuff on there. And then this is when, because like basically the helicopter comes to rescue Joker. They give him the little bridge to hang on to. So he's hanging on to there. Batman gets his leg, hooks it onto the gargoyle, and then the thing that my brain could not comprehend was Joker was hanging on to the helicopter with a 200-ton fucking gargoyle statue hanging from his leg.
It was pretty heavy, and there's no way that would have not like hurt him or made him fall or something.
Make him fall sooner than he did.
Right.
So eventually, like Batman and Vicky, they fall, but then Batman uses one of his toys to grappling hook them, so they're safe. But then the Joker actually falls to his death in this film. So Batman, he don't give no fucks in this one, brother. He'll kill anybody.
Right. Yeah, I think that's really weird though that they killed the main Joker or Batman villain in the first movie.
Yeah. So because he's there, obviously he fell from that height with no blood and he wasn't disfigured any. He just basically hurt the pavement. And I do like it where they has like a recording of him laughing, which wasn't explained in this movie, but apparently it was explained in some Batman comic book where it was like a recording of him laughing that I think later turned out to be like some like bomb or something like that they put in the fucking comic book if I believe that right. All right. So during all this stuff, we see the Joker's dead, and then we have little while later, the Gordons announcing that the police have arrested all of Joker's men. The remains of the organization, the Grimson organization, is basically all tamed. And this is when they created the bat signal that we would see for a lot of movies coming later on. Batman leaves the police a note promising to defend Gotham should crime strike again, and asks them to use the bat signal to summon him in the time of need. So then Alfred takes Vicky to Wayne Manor, explaining that Wayne will be a little late. She responds that she's not surprised. Okay. And then Batman's looking at the signal from the rooftop, standing watching over the city. And that's how we end Batman 89, brother. One of the most iconic superhero movies of all time, I would say. Now, it's not my favorite, to be honest with you. I am a bigger fan of Batman Returns, but that came out in the 90s.
I am too. I have a special place in my heart for this movie because of the time that it came out. Like, I remember the summer of Batman and how big it was. And I remember waiting on this to come out. And I still remember sitting, watching that movie start, where it starts with the where you can see like the sky, and then you see like the bat symbol, and it says Batman as it turns around. Like, I just remember that specifically and being so excited for it. Poster. We went and saw it at the poster. We went and saw it at midnight. Wow. On the night before it opened, and I remember being so excited for that. Yeah. But Batman Returns is a better movie for sure.
Yeah. I mean, like, I wish we could have done this. That's a Christmas movie, brother.
It's a Christmas movie.
Christmas movie. Like, it's like a fuck. We might have to do that next year because it's one of my favorite Batman movies. Catman. It kind of retcons a little stuff from out of this film. Yeah. But it has like, Catwoman on there. Danny DeVito has the Penguin, was great. I remember like Batman Returns is like my first Batman movie I've ever watched, is that one. It's like one of my favorites. But yeah, like that's basically the sequel to this one. And then of course when they get to the Batman the number 3 and stuff, it kind of like goes off the hinges a little bit, even though I did like Val Kilmer has Batman. That's one of my favorite Batmans. I thought he was an underrated Batman. And I did like Jim Carrey has the Riddler for being like kind of insane.
Yeah. I thought he was great. I thought he was great. I thought Poison Ivy, Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy was really good.
Yeah. So there's a couple shining light Batman movies. Of course, Christopher Nolan Batman movies are the most iconic ones probably nowadays.
The
newer Batman was really fun. It was more of a darker tone, even though it was like a 3-hour movie, which is something.
I thought it was too long, but I liked it. I thought it was really good. I like the way the Batsuit looked, and I like how it's more of like a detective story, like Batman should be. Yeah, I
like the killer in that one. That Riddler, I thought that was pretty good. More of a darker, serious tone Batman movie.
Even though it is kind of a rip off of Seven, if you think about it.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, yes. Yeah, hey, you got to rip off a cool movie there. That's the one to do it.
It's a good one to do. Yeah.
Of course, the series that they had on HBO, The Penguin, I thought it was very well done. Very fun.
I haven't watched that yet, so I need to watch that.
So obviously they still do Batman animation movies. All of them on there. It's crazy. So
have you seen the new series?
I haven't seen the new Batman series.
Cape Crusader. It's on Prime. It was done by Bruce Timm, who did the Batman the Animated Series, but this movie takes place in the 40s. Oh, okay. So it's set in the 40s. It's really, really good. If you haven't seen it, it's on Prime. The first season came out last year. It's really good. And there's going to be a new season next year. So
okay, nice.
Love my Batman stuff.
Yes. It's a strong franchise, man. It's still going on to this day. And it's almost all thanks to this movie. Kind of like getting the ball rolling to kind of get this franchise off the doldrums that it was in.
We wouldn't even.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the comic book was strong. You know what I mean? But the comic can only go so far. You know what I mean? Yes. In pop culture. But this movie pretty much got Batman to be being basically in pop culture.
Right. We wouldn't even have superhero movies today if it hadn't been for this movie. There's no doubt about that. This proved that people would go see Superman movies because they couldn't even get a Spider-Man movie made in the 80s because James Cameron spent 10 years trying to make a Spider-Man movie, and they're like, we don't want to do superhero movies.
Yeah, they don't want to do it.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like they had the successful Superman, like you said, but it kind of died out after that. You know what I mean? Yep. It wasn't really until they got this one off the bat that it started coming back a little bit, and that's when they got a bunch of them in the 90s. You know, what I mean? What do we get, like 3 Batman movies in the 90s and shit? So
Yep.
yeah, they're going from there. So, but everybody, thanks for joining us on our first ever big blockbuster month. We got a couple more happening for you on the December month, and the schedule goes like this. I think you're all going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Up next, we're going to be going this Christmas to the jungle, because we're going to be killing some motherfuckers in this movie, because me and Allison are going to come back here for big blockbuster, and we're going to talk about Rambo First Blood, brother.
Yes.
A supposed Christmas movie of killing. I like it.
We will see. We will see.
Then, for the week of Christmas, that will probably drop on Christmas, not that Sunday, but I'm probably going to drop it on Christmas to give a little extra time for it. We are going to debate, and we are going to discuss, is it really a Christmas movie or not? Because we are talking all about Die Hard.
A great film.
One of the biggest debates.
But is it?
Is it really? We'll see.
But is it a Christmas movie? We'll talk about it. We'll discuss it. We will definitively decide if it's a Christmas movie or not.
And to finish off this month, we're going to be talking about a movie that we've been wanting to talk about for ages on this program. We just really never found a place for it yet. We were going to tease it a couple times.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most famous horror movies and stories ever, I would say.
Yes.
That is the one, The Shining.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about doing it during our hotel month, and we did not. We did Mountaintop Motel Massacre instead.
Yes. And we talked about doing it. We did a couple of the ice months too, like winter months. We talked about doing that one too, because it fits in with that. But I think Big Blockbuster, it definitely fits in, because it definitely was a big movie at the time. When it came out.
And I have a personal story about that too. So I'm excited about telling a story when I get there.
So a lot of big things for this month of the Retro Blood. But like I said, we'll leave all of our podcast listeners with some prints on here. All right. The Batman dance, the Bat Dance or whatever? Bat
Dance. I believe the song is called Bat Dance. It was the first single from the Batman, the Prince Batman soundtrack.
There you go. Pretty cool video.
There's some really good songs on that album. Bat Dance is by far the worst one, I think. But Party Man was really good. Scandalous was really good. Yeah. If you like Prince, it's actually a really good album. But Bat Dance just seems like that's not it.
That's the one they made a video for.
But it was a hit though, right? It was a hit though. It was a hit. So what do I know?
Yeah, who are you to hate on the Bat Dance, brother?
Exactly.
Start doing it now. So
exactly.
But everybody, thanks for joining us. JH Alison, James Kline. We'll see you here next week for the Rambo.
Yeah. See you guys.